Hello and welcome to Grammar Lesson 1. Before we begin with the content today, let's take a look at some housekeeping things first. First of all, you'll notice that my screen here is a notebook paper. I've just scanned this into the computer. It's the actual size of a standard piece of notebook paper. Composition book would work as well. So what I write down on the page is important, so you should write it down on the page. Also, too, know that because I'm using the actual size of a piece of paper here while I'm writing, that everything should fit in your page as well. So before we continue, I'd like to show you a couple guidelines for the notes today. So first of all, every time we do notes, it should start the same way. The word date and then the date, the word lesson and the lesson number. Today is lesson 1, and you should put down today's date. Now what I'd like you to do also is the best that you can match the formatting is to put down what you see on the screen on your paper now. I'm going to give you some time to do that. So put down the date, lesson 1. Write down the question, what is grammar? Skip a couple lines. Then write down, there are 4 levels of grammar, and they are. Once again, the date, the lesson number, the question, what is grammar? Skip a couple lines, that's where we're going to be adding the answer. And then put down, there are 4 levels of grammar, and they are. And then put down the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, skipping lines between each number. I'm going to advance my notes down. I will leave the number 4 at the top of the screen. I'll do this each time I need to advance my page. I'll leave the last note at the top of the screen. So you're going to skip a couple lines after number 4, and then you're going to write this down. So what does a 4-level analysis of a sentence look like? So what does a 4-level analysis of a sentence look like? And skip a line. Then over here in the margin, I want you to write the word sentence. Put a colon here. On the other side of that colon, we're going to have an example sentence that I'll show you how it is that you will do in the future, what it is we are about to learn. Underneath that, you'll notice the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those of you paying attention could probably guess that those are going to represent the 4 different levels of grammar that belong to this sentence. Over here on the right side, I've added a note here. I'd like you to add it as well to your notes. This is important. Every time we do a 4-level analysis, we're going to need 5 lines, 1 for the sentence and 1 for each level. And that's it. As you can see here, I've got some space down at the bottom of my page, but that's it. So we start off with the question, what is grammar? Well, as I write, you should write too. Grammar is simply a way of thinking. Grammar is simply a way of thinking about language. So, as you finish writing that down, let me explain here. Just as some of you might think about sports, well, there's lots of different ways to think about sports. You could think about a specific one, a specific sport. Then you could think about the players of that sport, or the strategy behind playing that sport, or the history of that sport, or the traditions of that sport, or the records of that sport. Well, grammar is the same thing, but with language. It's just a way of thinking about language. And I forgot an E, so I'll add it. Okay, so there are 4 levels of grammar, and they are level 1, parts of speech. Parts of speech. In this level, we look at each individual word and ask, in this level we look at each individual word and ask, what is this word doing? In parts of speech, we look at each individual word and ask, what is this word doing? Level 2, parts of sentence, or parts of the sentence. Here, we look at the whole sentence and ask, what is being said about what? In level 2, parts of the sentence, we look at the whole sentence and ask, what is being said about what? It's different than level 1 where we look at each individual word. Level 3, this is called phrases. Here, we look at groups of words that are behaving. We look at groups of words that are behaving like a single part of speech and ask, what are they pretending to be? In level 3, here we look at groups of words that are behaving like a single part of speech and ask, what are they pretending to be? Level 4 is clauses. Level 4 is clauses. In clauses, we look at the whole sentence and ask, how many different ideas. We look at the whole sentence and ask, how many different ideas are there? So in clauses, we look at the whole sentence and ask, how many different ideas are there? What I'm going to do is advance the notes. I'm going to put my last note at the top of the screen. So this next section here, what I want you to do is I just want you to get this set up first. If these are the levels of grammar, level 1 was parts of speech. Level 2 was parts of sentence. Level 3, phrases. And level 4, clauses. So what I want you to do is write down this sentence. These papers I have kept for my records. These papers I have kept for my records. So what I'd like you to do right now is to please put your pencils down, take a look at the screen, and I want you to watch me go through a 4-level analysis. I want you to watch me do what you will learn to do. Okay, here we go. So I have a sentence here. These papers I have kept for my record. I'm looking at level 1. Level 1 in the 4-level analysis of grammar is parts of speech. Looking at parts of speech, each individual word. These is an adjective. It's modifying the noun, papers. I is a pronoun. Have is a verb. It's actually a helping verb, helping the main verb. Kept. For is a preposition. My is a possessive pronoun. Some people might call it an adjective. Records is a noun. I go down to level 2. I'm talking about subject and predicate. The subject of this sentence is I. The predicate is have kept. So, okay, I have a verb here. I got a direct object as well. What's receiving the action back here are papers. Direct object. There is no indirect object. There is no subject complement. I'm on to level 3. Phrases. I have no infinitive, no verbals. I do, however, have a prepositional phrase. It begins with a begins with a preposition and ends with its object, which is records. Have a prep phrase. There are no other phrases. I go down to clauses. I have one independent clause, which creates a simple declarative sentence. And that is it. That is a 4-level analysis of a sentence. That's your notes for the day. The bottom of my page, still pretty empty. So take a moment now, copy this down on your paper. Do not worry about understanding it, but I do want you to make sure that you are using the correct abbreviations, and I want you to make sure that you are placing them underneath the correct words. Notice that I have spaced out these words in the sentence a little bit, but it is important, for obvious reasons, that it fits all on one line. When you're done, I'll meet you at lesson 2.